Grace Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Tuesday, March 15th. So today we do have the moon in Leo energy, but here's the thing. This Leo energy, the moon is going to go void of course at 6:56 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and will remain void of course all day. We're not even moving in to Virgo energy until the wee hours Wednesday morning. So what does this mean? It means that when the moon is void of course, things are unstable in our heart space and our head space. We are feeling the impulse, the urgency to make a decision, to make a commitment, to choose a direction and a path, but we are not to do that. We are very, very unaligned while the moon is void of course. And although those urgencies and those desires kind of creep up for us to kind of pick one path over the other, we have to remain in a state of just waiting until the moon locks into a more stable energy. We also have to keep in mind that when the moon moves into Virgo energy, that opens the full moon energy to us. Of course, we have the full moon in Virgo taking place on Friday. And as the full moon is in its peak energy, we get illuminated to hidden details, hidden thoughts, hidden emotions. Is this a time to actually make a decision and commit? Absolutely not. It's time for us to stand back, act as the observer, let whatever information, details, and emotions need to rise to the surface, let them come up. We are simply standing back and seeing what is coming up for our attention, for acceptance, for acknowledgement, so that we can process it, figure out what we want to do with it. We will see a full illumination of the information that has been hidden away from us under the full moon. And that's why, even though you feel the urgency to make a decision, to move forward, to commit to one path or choice over the other, you have to do what it is that you can in order to prolong that situation and process until the universe actually supports us in doing so. There are 9 different aspects taking place here today. 9 of them involve the moon. The majority is when the moon is void. So this is going to be a little bit shaky of an emotional area, of a mental plane area, and likely some triggers in our outer realms to really throw a wrench into the plans that we thought we had just yesterday. So the moon bumps into Neptune right off the gate. This is a positive aspect. This is where we are renewed in our faith, where we get some intuitive insight, where we, just remind ourselves of the dreams and the visions that we're now inspired to pursue. This is when we are recognizing where the problems, where the obstacles are, where we're really trying to push ourselves to come up with some creative solutions to those problems. But overall, we're feeling good. We're feeling inspired. We're feeling positive. Hold on to that because it's not going to last very long. The moon bumps into Jupiter in not the nicest way. This is when external circumstances really turn the volume up on all the things that we don't have control over, all of the things that we thought we were trying to make peace with, that we thought we were done healing. This is going to be thrown in our face in order to test us to see again how strong we are in our faith, how strong we are in our confidence, in our optimism, in our belief system about the dreams and the visions that we're now being inspired to pursue. Jupiter turns the volume up. He magnifies whatever energy we're currently sitting in. And in this particular aspect, this is where things are going to get hella dramatic. Look to your external realm. There's likely people testing your boundaries. There's likely external circumstances really coming at you that makes you feel overwhelmed. Please try not to lose your shit. This is an opportunity for you to act as the observer, see what's coming at you, see how you would have reacted this time last week, this time last year, and choose a different path. We get a little bit of help because the moon bumps into the sun. Anytime the moon bumps into the sun, this is an illumination, the division within us, the old versus the new, who it is that we were versus who it is that we currently are and who it is that we want to be. This is our heart versus our head. This is the old, dark, shadow parts of ourselves trying to keep us in a state of paralysis and fear, because the sun is illuminating where it is that we have to shed our skin, grow out of the old, disconnect from those attachments in order to vibrate higher, in order to grow, in order to move into a new enlightenment stage, a new set of awareness on what it is that we have to do to grow through these particular challenges, triggers, and life lessons. The moon is going to oppose Saturn. Let me tell you, this is a seesaw energy all day, a tug of war. We get one positive aspect, we are counteracted with a negative one. We get one step ahead, we're pulled 2 steps behind. The moon opposing Saturn, the Lord of Karma, is definitely going to put us at odds with ourselves. This is where we're going to feel like we're out of control emotionally, out of control mentally, out of control when it comes to the external circumstances that are testing our boundaries and throwing a wrench into our plans. This is an opportunity for us to boss up, for us to prove to ourselves and the universe that we are taking the cues, we are acting as the observer, we will not retreat back to old patterns and behaviors that our ego has definitely been comfortable in exercising. This is when we recognize where it is that we have to grow up. Okay, this is a boss up. This is a hard energy because the moon in Leo definitely wants to keep things light and playful, wants to have fun. And of course, the Lord of Karma is all about roles and responsibilities. You know, you can have fun after the work is done, after you boss up, after you go through this particular life lesson, the hardships of it, before you get, when you get dragged through the life lessons, dragged through the emotions, dragged through the negative narratives. Once you can overcome that, then you get to have fun. So the moon opposing Saturn right now is really going to be a tough ride for us because we feel the weight of the world on our shoulders. Our heart space, of course, our soul space just wants us to lighten that load, and we don't know how to do that because we've made commitments and everything just seems to be super, super pressurized. It's at this point in time that the moon goes void. So everything is going to be hella shaky from about 6:56 a.m. for the rest of the day. Okay, take a breath. This is where we're being challenged. If you haven't listened to this week's ascension forecast, please go do so. We're in the last leg of the race. Just when you think you can't take anymore, this is when you have to dig deep, muster up the courage in order to push through. The moon is going to bump into Neptune in not the nicest way. This is putting us at odds with our dreams, with our visions. When we go back to the beginning of the day and the moon bumped into Neptune in a positive way, reminding us of that dream, reminding us of that vision, renewing us in our faith and our confidence and our optimism that it is possible to actually be living in that reality, now we're being tested, likely from an outside situation, likely outside of our control, that really is going to put us at odds because, again, our current realities do not suggest that our dream and our vision is even possible. This is another choice point. Are you going to allow yourself to sit in the fear and the paralysis of what your egoic self is telling you in this present moment, in these circumstances? Or are you going to override that, keep the faith, keep the vision, keep the dream very strong in your heart space, in your head space, and move through this very tough love life lesson? The moon squares the true node. This is a tension point. This is a conflict. We don't know what it is that we want anymore. We're letting this negative narrative override the positive vision, the positive dream. We're trying really hard in order to not kind of succumb to those negative vibrations and frequencies. But let me tell you, the darker force energies are winning at this point. Our plans are falling apart. We have lost the vision, lost the dream, lost the focus. We are getting down on ourselves. And just as this happens, the moon bumps into the sun again in not the nicest way. So everything, if you backtrack to the beginning of the day when the moon bumped into the sun, and this was a positive revelation of where the growth is taking place, what it is we're letting go of in order to embrace the new. Now we're like, oh, damn, that was just a dream. That was just a fantasy. Life is not providing me an opportunity to really align with my vision and my dreams right now. I'm losing it. I'm losing the positivity. I'm losing the focus. This is a time for us to choose again whether or not we are going to let those darker force narratives overwrite, speak fear into our dreams, or whether or not we're able to stand strong in our new will, in our new determination, in the new vibrations and frequencies to hold that line, to keep that vision strong enough for this energy to pass. The moon is going to bump into Chiron in not the nicest way. This brings up our insecurities, our wounds, our pain, our suffering. This is where we become very guarded again. It's like, oh my goodness, I opened my heart and my head up to something that I want, and now I don't think I'm going to get it, so now I'm going to shut down, I'm going to retreat, I'm just going to run away. This is the energy that we are facing. This is the energy that is being illuminated for us so that we can see where it is that we are most vulnerable. This is where we get an aha moment on where it is that we still feel like we are wide open and vulnerable, afraid of rejection, afraid of not being able to actually manifest the kind of reality in which we want. And there's just a lot of negative vibrations coming up to show us where it is that we still have some healing to do. The moon is going to bump into Pluto. And let me tell you, this is what I was talking about in the Ascension forecast, where we were really going to be challenged with a negative narrative here today. Pluto, of course, the god of the underworld, wants us to transform, wants us to stand in our power, wants us to take control over our psyche, over our mind space, over our emotions, over our physical realities. But we're not able to do that right now because we're being reminded of the pain, of the suffering, of the rejection, of the abandonment, of all the insecurities and doubts that we've ever faced. We're questioning now why we could even be so crazy to think that we could actually make such a dramatic change and transformation in our lives, how we could even think that we were powerful enough to bring our dreams and our visions to reality. Here's the thing. Pluto offers us all the darkness as an opportunity to turn it into light. Pluto offers us an opportunity to go into the pain in order to turn it into power. And right now, we are succumbing to the negative force energies. We have to stay strong in our mental plane, in our heart space. We have to recognize the attack on our mental plane, on our heart space. We have to hold the vision strong. We have to talk positive affirmations and mantras to ourselves to get us through this very unstable time. Again, we are not moving into Virgo energy until the wee hours of Wednesday morning, and we are seeing the intense emotions, the intense negative narratives, analytical, highly critical, very judgmental narratives come into our mental plane right now as we approach the full moon in Virgo. Stay strong. Remind yourself of how strong you are. Remind yourself of all the things that you've overcome. Talk positivity into your day. If you need to sit there and tell yourself that you are strong, that you got this, that you're going to overcome this, that you're needed, that you're beautiful, that you're powerful all freaking day, then do that. That is the only thing on the to-do list here today, is to override the negative narrative that the dark force energy is going to throw at you in order to keep you in a state of fear and keep you in a state of paralysis.